Hello. Okay. Today. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my neighbor. Okay. Pastor T, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. I love you so much, you know that. It's your birthday, Pastor T. Thank you so much for being a blessing to all of us. You know I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? My name is Praise. Welcome to PFthinks. 23 or 24, right? Whichever one. Okay. If you have been missing out in action, you can go back to my YouTube channel, Praise Forward Live, and listen to the previous episodes, right? And you just realize that there's a whole lot that you have missed out from, and you know, update yourself. Okay, tonight I'm gonna be having my first webinar, right? And this is building a strong post-COVID family, singles, married, parenting. You don't want to miss it. If you have not registered for it, I don't know what you'll be doing by 8 p.m. tonight when I go live for about 1.5 hours thereabout, and I'm going to be sharing from the depth of my heart what every family understand post-COVID, because the future of family is tribal agenda. I'm going to be sharing some of these things that you need to understand. So if you are yet to register, class is already full, but we're activating a link where you can actually watch live, but it's not open to the public, right? Over 500 people are registered as at the last count. Okay, so you don't want to miss out from that. Okay, so today I want to especially appreciate Adebayo Babatokbe. Today is his birthday. That's my 3 a.m. broadcast. I love him so much. He's more or less like my son. I appreciate him. Amazing guy. His nickname is Pasi Toti. Amazing guy doing some fantastic young people. I really appreciate him. Okay, today I'm going to be speaking or starting a series on mind your business. Sorry, I was going to say by the end of the legion. Mind your business. That's what I'm going to be starting you on today. Now, you know, and people who are close to me know that every time I speak, right, I don't speak because everyone speaks. Most of the things I say are research driven, are products of meditation, products of observation, and product of a data driven research. I'm careful about what I put out. So one of the things I have learned over the years is to follow what works, to research what works, to replicate what works, and to teach what works. You will hardly hear me teach about mysteries I don't understand, or mysteries I have never practiced or I have never used, right? What I've realized is mentality. The herd mentality is such that an average person follows the popular what everyone is doing, even when all of them are headed down the hill, all of them are headed, to nowhere. They just keep following. An average human being hates to stand up. They feel that they will be persecuted for standing up. And your fears are founded because the moment you develop a mind of your own and you can question what majority of the people does, that doesn't make sense to anyone, that cannot produce any result, you become a rebel. Now, I tell people, once you clock 30 and you are still looking for endorsement, your life, you have truly been captured. So don't join them to write about vaccine as you have been captured, right? That my greatest fear is that Nigerians and Africans are bothered about what Bill Gates is trying to do or what he's not trying to do, that they are forgetting that there are bigger issues in their governance system here, right? They are forgetting that their healthcare system is messed up, and that is killing more people anyway than whatever. So, Africa does not need the Antichrist. We should not even talk about the Antichrist. People that can talk about Antichrist are nations who have conquered what to eat, conquered power, conquered things like conquered every road, and there is no pothole. Those ones can talk about Antichrist, not an environment that everything even looks like Antichrist. So for us to even be opening our mouth to be talking about the Antichrist, Africa should not even go there. We should keep quiet and focus on thou shalt not peace. Pardon my use of language. Thou shalt not peace beside the roadside. Thou shalt not steal from your neighbor. Thou shalt not sell substandard product. You shall not lie to people about your product. Standardization, those are the things we need to be bothering about right now. Because if we don't bring back our capacity to observe, we will miss out on something fundamental, which is why, have you not noticed that the people we celebrate in Africa, we celebrate the most in Africa, and this is no disrespect to anybody, I respect the same people. I respect my religious leaders. I respect them so much, right? Have you not noticed that that sector is not really, really celebrated in developed countries? You know why? Because the developed countries have learned over time that to move forward, technology, and you need to deploy spirituality to birth innovation and to birth solutions, and not just for consumption's sake. So, developed nations celebrate industrialists, they celebrate innovators, science, people who are moving the world forward, research-driven data, research-driven solution. Those are the people they celebrate. If you live abroad, you can try out this. Look for the most popular people in Africa, go on your streets in any nation abroad, and just mention the names. Meet non-blacks, mention the name of the people you respect the most, and ask them, do you know this person? It was a research I did in the UK, I did it in the US. I was shocked, right? But check the people who are popular and known in developed countries, right? The inventors, the innovators, come back to Africa, mention their name, you will realize that we know them, right? And what one of my mentors said is, once what you celebrate has no universal appeal, you need to begin to check it. I'm going somewhere. That one of the things that have been taken away from us is the ability to observe and learn. Even the Holy Book says, who is blind but my servant, right? Who is deaf than the one I placed my name on? Also, that the person who is likely going to be blind is the person who mentions the name of the Lord, because your capacity to observe what works. So even when what you have been told and what your result is not showing any improvement, everything you have been promised has not worked, you will rather die there, hoping that things change, even when things have not changed in the last 20 years, than open your eyes to observe something else that is working. Even when you see other people who don't believe what you believe, who don't do what you do, engender and produce the results you desire, you will still not bring yourself into humility to observe what is working for them. You would rather stay with your dogma, even when your dogma cannot produce result. To bring you to bear that, can you take your mind back to when you were in school? The guy who made the first class in your class, how did he live his life, and what class did you make? Some of you listening to me made a 2-1, made a 2-2, some of you made a pass. Pass or a second class lower, right? Many of us in that category prioritize other reasons for which we were on campus than the main reason that took us to campus. Follow my line of thought. So I spend more time in counseling than in the classroom, even though my parents paid for me to go to school and go and study. So I studied less. When it was time, I'll be busy. I spend more time in the fellowship. There's nothing wrong with that. But the primary aim for sending me to school, I literally forgot it. In fact, I was bragging that God sent me here as a missionary. Meanwhile, I was not even saved before I got on campus, right? So I forgot paid for me to go to school, and I embraced something different, right? And that began to contend with my academics. That there were several days that the lecturer would say, I'm coming to run a test, and we'll begin to pray with my friends that the lecturer should not come. The lecturer should forget it. And sometimes maybe God answered the prayer, or maybe, I don't know what happened, but sometimes it seemed like it worked. I've learned more by focusing on what I was in school to do. Of course, the reason I didn't focus was very simple. I was studying accounting and I didn't like math, right? But a lot of us focused on the wrong thing. But you realize that the first class student, you could almost tell that they were going to make a first class by what they chose to focus on, right? They did not bother with us, fight with us over religious leadership, over many things we fought about, right? And if you check many of those first class students right now, you realize that they seem to have moved faster in their lives. They seem to have access to more opportunities. You know why? Because they mind their business, right? Seest thou a man diligent in his business, right? So the first question is he a man? 2, is he diligent? 3, has he found his business? Once he's a man, notice he did not say, seest thou a Christian or Muslim, because God does not dwell at the realm of religious belief of I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. He doesn't dwell there. Is he a man? Because God made all men. Has he found his business? 2, is he diligent in his business? Once those 3 criteria are met, that of the result to pray about it is that he will begin to stand among great people, because his work is the best that exists across the globe. The problem with many of us, including myself, over time is we have enough time to mind other people's business outside our own business, right? You have so much time. I was listening to a documentary yesterday about Bill Gates, and his mother said that we had to literally beg him to come and eat because he's always telling me, I am thinking. The mother said he played a game as a child. What's the name of the game? I think Ark or something. He said the game is about global domination. They were wondering, why was this guy interested in this game? Of course, we can see the result of diligence, right? The hand of the diligence, not the hand of a religious person, bears rule. Now, I will bring to you some of the people you know and what was said about them. Then you will see how minding your business is so critical to everything you need to do, and how it's so vital to whatever you have chosen to become. Now, Sir Alex Ferguson said something about Cristiano Ronaldo. He said Cristiano Ronaldo is known for being obsessed with his training routine, right? Said there's a particular quote from Sir Alex Ferguson which illustrates this phenomenon perfectly. There is no fluke about it. I see training. Besides the mental motivation needed, there's certainly another very important attribute that CR7 owns, and that everyone needs to keep in their mind when attempting to get in shape. Discipline, right? Common trivial question, quotes like no pain, no gain are indeed true. Cristiano Ronaldo is top of his game consistently, and he never has any other focus outside of football. Listen to that carefully. He has no other focus outside of football. A couple of his teammates went to visit him, and they said in his house, there's another football. If you go to Cristiano Ronaldo's house, you will not play any other game outside of football. He said he has a pitch in his house. All the things about his football. Now we wonder why he's number one between him and Lionel Messi is because he spends more time practicing. The guy is not bothered about many of the things you are encumbered with, right? But you know what we say? We say he has lost his soul. Who has lost his soul between us and him? Because he has gotten to the top of his career. Many of us may never get to the top of our career in our lifetime. Let me give you another. You all know him. If I mention your name to Michael Jackson, most likely he doesn't know you. And please, this is not a time to say, after all, he doesn't have to know me. God knows me. Does God even know you? Does God know you? Because God will know you to the extent, to the power he has given you to manifest his glory in your sector. Are you known in your sector? Let your light so shine. God is very scientific and data driven. Let your light so shine among men. Let your innovation become visible among men, that solutions and glorify your Father in heaven, which means whatever God has placed in you is measurable. It can be measured, right? Now, Quincy Jones said about Michael Jackson, he said Michael Jackson would watch tapes of gazelles and cheetah and panthers to imitate the natural grace of their movement. He wanted to be the best in everything, to take it all in. Improvement is all about practice, and Quincy said Michael was complete. Is, are you interested in your business, or you are dedicated? Because many of us, the way we live our life, the way we move, our body language, our action shows that we are only interested in our business. We are not dedicated. He went further. He said Michael practices dancing for hours. He says reaching success, Michael worked hard, was focused, and was always super prepared. Quincy said Michael Jackson showed up at 5 a.m. for his makeup call and had every detail of what he needed to do memorized and ready for every shooting. He also knew every dance step, every word of dialogue, and all the lyrics of everyone in the entire production. Now, that was Michael Jackson. Now, let us go to what was written about Bill Gates, right? They said Bill was feisty and combative. With him and Allen, they both spend much time of their free time together working on programs. Occasionally, they disagree and will clash over who was right and who should run the computer lab. On one occasion, their arguments escalated to the point where Allen banned Bill Gates from the lab. On another occasion, Gates and Allen had their school computer privileges revoked for taking advantage of software glitches to obtain free computer time for their company that produced computers. Now, during this time, develop a payroll program for the computer company the boys act into, and a scheduling program. About him said, Bill Gates said, I failed in some subjects in exam, but my friend passed in all. Now he's an engineer in Microsoft, and I'm the owner of Microsoft. So here are a couple of questions. Are you a man? No, question number one, you need to answer. Where man is humanity. 2, have you found your business? Have you found your business? 3, what is your business? 4, are you diligent in your business? 5, what is competing with your business time? What is competing with your business time? Because a whole lot of us, our business time, has been compromised totally, taken away from us, and another business has been given to us that has no bearing to where we want to go in our life. Now, everyone, one, has got his business. Now, don't worry, I don't have to finish this today. I will continue tomorrow. Everyone has business, one. So, whether you're listening to me or you're going to watch this later, right, you have got your business, right? You have got your business. Clearly, all of us have one business or the other that we have been sent here to do, right? Number 2, not everyone will discover their business. Not everyone will discover their business. Life is being busy without being busy in your business. Many of us are busy, but we are not busy in our business. So God has sent you to solve the problem of hunger, but you are busy, to sing with a group of people, to impress another group of people. God did not send you there. Hunger, people are hungry. That's your business. You are not, but you are minding other people's business just to come finding your business, or your lack of not being in your place of calling. Truth is, nothing else will give you fulfillment until you find your place. The measurement of business is in your result, which manifests in lack of fulfillment. Every time you manifest lack of fulfillment is because something is fundamentally wrong. not found your business. And when you have not found your business, you will need to read other people's books for the rest of your life. When you find your business, you will become a book other people will read. So you need to ask yourself, whatever sector you have right now, is there originality in you? Do ideas come to you naturally? Or you have to go and read and study, for ideas to come? Once you don't have natural flow of the divine coming to you in your area, you have chosen something in fundamentally wrong, it means that you cannot be a master in that field. You will need to depend on other people the rest of your life. Now, someone is asking me, how do I find my calling? I'll answer that question tomorrow. How do you find your calling? I'll answer that question tomorrow. Right? Now, the challenge we have is that many of us have taken in, you see, I keep saying this, and it's something many of you need to work on. Our brain has been messed up by the first set of people that became custodians of our brain. So our parents did a lot of damage unintentionally. They don't know. That was what was given to them. So when you were born, the first skill of parenting is observation. Your parents did not even observe you to see the natural trait you were exhibiting. They did not. They just say the child has been born. By day 8, they gave you a name, right? The name did not reflect your reality. It reflected their own reality, right? They gave you a name. They treated you the way they assumed a child should be treated. From the went to dedicate you somewhere, right? Right? And, after they sent you to a school that did not reflect your potential, to teachers with low self-esteem, so your parents began to load your brain with what you did not need. Imagine if from the time you were born, your parents loaded your brain with information necessary for your purpose or your calling. You would have been a genius by now. So they loaded your brain with what you didn't need. You began to memorize what will never be useful for you, right? So they sent you to school. We did 2 times 1, 2. We did 2 times 3, 4. 2 times 2, 4. We did all kinds of things at school that we will never need. Algebra that we will never need. Not in line with your which direction you want to go for your life. So they loaded your brain. They took you to religious houses. In the name of teaching you morals, they silenced you. So every time you shout, I'll give you an example. When I was 7 years old, I noticed, my dad was an Anglican priest. I noticed that in the Anglican church, every time we had to cross the altar, people would bow on the altar and move forward, right? So as a 7-year-old, one of the guys in our church, one of the leaders, the lay reader, I asked him, I said, sir, the guy looked at me, he said, well, we bow down because God said we should bow down. I said, where did God say we should bow down? He looked at me and he said, and because I was a child, he said there was a man in the Bible, he was crossing, he did not bow down, God killed him, right? I said, God killed him. He said, yes, God killed him because he did not bow down on the altar. Of course, I asked him, I said, where can I read it in the Bible? He said, his name is Uzziah or something like that. He said, I should not worry. But I believed him because he was the man who was reading the Bible in our church. Now, the child is curious. I started saying to myself, how can God kill somebody for not bowing down here? And because I was a runner in my school, an athlete, I said to myself, in my innocence, I can outrun God. So let me see if I run very fast, if God will kill me without bowing down. So when all of them had left, I went to the other side of the altar. I got to the other side. God did not kill me. I ran very fast back. God did not kill me. I walked fast. God did not kill me. I walked fast back. God did not kill me. I now walk slowly. God did not kill me. If I walk back slowly, God did not kill me. Then I went to sit down on that place where they bow, and I refused to bow. God did not kill me. That day, I proved all of them wrong, right? And I knew that the guy lied to me. That's the mind of a child. Have you not noticed that when you go to the mosque or a church, if you leave a child alone, the child does not know the seat of the pastor. He's not even aware of what you are doing. A child will by himself go forward, go to the altar, try to get into the altar. He can even sit there and be laughing at all of you. What do you do immediately? You run after the child and grab him, because in your mind is distracting the service, but the child is the only one who is normal among all of you. Right? You have been bound by rules and regulation. Thou shalt not go here. thou shalt not sit on this seat, thou shalt not move here, thou shalt bow here. The child is not moved by all those rules because it doesn't exist in his radar. And the child will violate and break, and God does not kill him because God understands that that is the only person in the entire service who has my nature, who still understands me. And by trying to move him away, don't go there, don't go there, you are the next person domesticating him to become like you. So when he grows into preteens, he's already fearful, he's already been bound by rules in his brain, that even in other areas of his life, his inquisitiveness is gone, his curiosity is gone, because you have domesticated him without finding out the natural power that God has placed in him. Now, so when he begins to struggle because you have sent him to a school without consulting him, he's exposed to teachers who have low self-esteem, who have messed him up, who have beaten him for shouting as a 5-year-old. Meanwhile, shouting is expected behavior for a 5-year-old, right? You have introduced him to uncles, cousin, and too much, even though he's asking questions human beings is asking that adults are afraid to ask, right? So you are going to domesticate him. You are going to tell him, no, why will you argue with adults? If you argue with adults, your days will not be long. So you are going to threaten him and subject him to the torture that you have been subjected to, that has now produced who you have become right now. You don't like yourself, but you are pretending you love yourself. Even though you are not living the life you truly want to live, you are pretending and saying to yourself, after all, I am not where I used to be, even though I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where you... Why are you not where you want to be? Why are you glorifying that you're no longer where you used to be, but you are not where you used to be? Does that even make sense to you? But that is what we say all the time to console ourselves. Say, I thank God I am not where I used to be, even though I may not be where I want to be. Why are you not where you want? Are you not the human being? Are there not people who are where they want to be? So guys, minding your business is critical to your sanity going forward, right? Narrow is the way that leads to life. The Bible did not say it's leading to heaven. No. Please go and read that place. It did not say narrow is the way that leads to heaven. No, we are the ones who put heaven there because I think we have a problem with understanding heaven, that everything we just put heaven, right? Narrow is the way that leads to life. Way it's even a problem, right? He said broad is the way that leads to destruction, many walk therein, but narrow is the way that leads to life, few find. What it means is the finding of the way that leads to your life is the biggest deal, right? So question is, what is your life? Your life is your business. So for example, if you say life, what life is to you is different from what life is to me. Is prosperity or wealth, right? The narrow way that leads there becomes very clear. To say, I cannot be buying cars, flashy cars, when I should be investing. Is that when Bill Gates was building Microsoft, anywhere that Bill Gates was giving to charity. He did not give to charity when he was building Microsoft, right? He did not. Why? Because he delayed gratification to be able to make enough money so that when he starts giving, what he's giving is the return on his investment, and he can give sustainably for the rest of his life. That is where he is right now. Many of us have not built anything. We have started giving. No wonder we have overgiven ourselves. You now need, because every resources God first put in your hand is your natural oil. God's expectation is that oil will create an economy for you that is no longer dependent on oil. Right? But many of us, we stayed on the job, we were given from the job, now the job is gone, we are broke. Right? That we didn't develop the intelligence, we didn't understand how the world works. He said, it shall be like a tree planted by irrigation channels. Irrigation channels that bring forth a stream in a season. Irrigation is artificial. Irrigation is not natural. So what many of is the money that should be into your business to develop your business to the highest level, you are giving it away. You are giving away, say givers shall never lack. It's fine, givers shall never lack, but you are not building anything. So you are giving away your future, that you have not built anything into the future. You get to the future and a lot of that is why many people are frustrated with God, thinking that God doesn't love them. They have given, God is not responding, because even when you give, God responds by giving you an idea, but you still need to respond to the idea. We have not been taught how to respond to the idea, so we can't even spot the idea. really give so much when he was building Microsoft. He was investing in himself, investing back in himself, investing back in his business, till he built the business to a level where once he chose to start giving, he could give sustainably for the rest of his life. So when he reduced his stakeholdings to about 4.5% in Microsoft, he was still the richest man in the world. Right? What happened was Bill Gates found his business. All the people you want to be like, that you said belong, Dangote found his business. Right? All those guys found their business. You will never see them do many of the things we were doing. Where they went was dependent on their business. So once what you call them to do was not compatible with their life, they nicely said no to you. Right? So you will say, these guys are not religious. These guys are not serious with God. No. You see, the four walls of a building is not where God is. Right? God wants to be expressed through your work. I taught you that yesterday, that your work must become worship unto God. I am not saying don't go to church, don't go to mosque, go. Right? But God is more interested in you finding your business, staying in the line of your business, because that is where your protection even lies. Right? So you need to understand that you need to discover why you are here. And what you are here to do is naturally in your talent, right? It's in your natural ability. The problem is a lot of us don't understand it. Someone is asking, is it possible to give and still build? No. You should give, but you need to give more, right? Giving to your calling, giving to your business is part of giving. God knows your heart. He knows when you build sustainably, you can give for the rest of your life, right? So your first stage in life is to build wealth. Once you build that wealth, that is no longer dependent on you going to work, then you can get into charity and and give for the rest of your life, right? So the question is, what are you giving for right now? Are you giving from your investment? Have you built a system that can enable you to give for the rest of your life? If you have not built that system, right, don't waste your time and don't waste your life. You can give whatever you can give, but building a system is more important than any of the other things you are doing, right? A lot of people, I know, their brains have been messed up by all kinds of teachings and whatever, but this is what I have observed that I'm teaching you, right? So what you need to do is to ask yourself, where exactly is my future? What is my life, right? So if my life is health, that is my life, right? The narrow way that leads there is that when I go to a buffet and there's always a crowded area where you have chicken, people are mixing chicken with meat, mixing meat with whatever, right? It's always crowded. But there's a short corner where you don't have a lot of crowd at all. That place is where you have garlic, is where you have, salad, is where you have bitter leaf. It's always a very narrow path. That is the narrow path that leads to your health, right? The broad way is where people have fries and everything, right? So it is not to me, guys, whatever will make you number one in your field cannot be a popular route. As a matter of fact, the world can never make you great if you are someone who follows every rule. Because the creators of the rule, their goal is not for you to a level. The creators of the rule, their goal is to keep you perpetually bound. So for you to actually become great, you need to go against the rule, which is why the world talks about disruption. Nobody has followed every rule step by step and gotten to where they need to get to. No. Because the rules that have been set, your path may not be there. So you need to find, which is why, if you have listened to what I taught 3 days ago, I taught you about the 4 stages in life. You need to move from domestication to awareness, from awareness to recreation, and from recreation to freedom. The criteria for doing that, I have taught it, so you can go to the past episodes and listen to it. Right. That, what is your business is the question for today. If you have not found your business, how do you mind your business? Right. So if my business is, I want to create a new phone. That phone will help our children not to do pornography. That phone will help our children find their future. If that is my business, right, that I'm going to spend 90% of my life trying to achieve that. Everything that tries to, so any other thing that will take me off that route becomes my enemy. Now, it may be right for you, it may not be right for me. I have told you before, and I love God. I'm a Christian, but there are meetings I will not attend because it's not in line with where I want to go. Right? So a guy called me and he said, I should come and attend 72 hours of praise. And I asked him a simple question, so that what can happen? Right? So that what can I said so that we can praise God. I said, no, my work is already praising God. I'm praising God where I am. I don't need to dance to praise God. I said, no. I said, because you are going now. I know after that you still don't know what God has sent you to do. Right? So why are you going to dance? For what? Right? I said, no. It was just, okay. I said, when you go there, right? If you can't show me exactly what I'm going to benefit by doing this dancing, I'm not going. Right? And he came to tell me, he said, Praise, I shouldn't have gone. He said, because I just slept away most of the time. And I said, because you are tired, you are just trying to mark attendance and please someone, right? You will never live your life if you go at that pace. And why God sent you here, your real business is what must determine the action I'm inviting you to is not in consonance with where you want to nice you. They will malign you, they will talk against you, they will you don't have God. But you see, you have no business list. Business is with your creator and moving in the direction of why you were created. Right? You see, the way I describe it is this. The bottle of Gulda cannot be abusing the bottle of Coca-Cola for not tasting like Gulda. The bottle of Maltina cannot be accusing the bottle of Sprite for not tasting like Maltina. Every man is a product. We only have one producer. That producer is God. So if someone else is trying to judge you, that's a bottle of Gulda trying to judge the bottle of Coca-Cola, because the bottle of Gulda is built for Gulda. The bottle of Coca-Cola is built for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola will never become Gulda. Gulda will never become Coca-Cola. So every man to their destiny, every man to their path. Let everyone move in the direction of where they want to go. When we all get to the top, there will be a congruence. Many of us have been taught distraction. We have not been taught focus, which is why not many of you can sit down for 1 hour, concentrate on your mind, quieten your mind, and not be distracted. People can't even do it for 10 minutes. That is already a feedback that something is fundamentally wrong with your concentration. So guys, what I'm saying today, I'll continue this tomorrow, is that your first, in life is to business. Cristiano Ronaldo found this business. Now you can see him. Everybody knows Cristiano Ronaldo. Michael Jackson found this business early enough in life, gave his life 11 hours of dance rehearsals every day. No wonder he became the king of pop. You all know Michael Jackson. How many hours do you spend on your own business? How many hours do you spend rehearsing on your business? That's why you are not known yet. Because if you dedicate yourself, let's even say you give 7 hours of the day to your business, let me tell you, in 1 year, you most likely be in the top 10 in your sector, because you will know everything everybody needs to know. And what knowledge does is it gives you a lot of confidence. Now, because knowledge is one thing, courage is another. Some of you know a lot, but you are not. You would rather push out. There is something you are thinking in your mind. There's another thing you are saying. What you are saying is because you are afraid of what people will say. You are afraid of backlash. You are afraid of controversy. You are afraid of the people you respect. They will call you and say they don't agree. You are afraid of their endorsement. You don't want to lose their endorsement. So you sacrifice your very essence. You sacrifice your originality to please people who don't care about you, right? So you underutilize yourself. You are not living your life that God is even looking for you. He can't find you. So guys, what I have said today is that your first preoccupation is to find your business, right? What is life to you? What will life be now? What will you focus on? Once you find your business, the next thing is begin to mind your business, right? Minding your business is the gym of your life. You want to develop 6 packs. You need to mind your business, know everything you need to know in your sector. I mean, my sector right now, I know almost all I should know in my sector, but I'm still studying. I'm discovering new things. So, for example, my research is showing me, for example, that the concept of opposites attract is not totally correct. I'm running data. I'm running research. It's my sector. Nobody sent me. I am doing it. There was a time I was studying the family system in every nation of the world. I went to China. I would took alphabetically, right? I will pick China. I will pick Andorra. I will pick Angola. One nation, nobody sent me, but I need to know that because that is my sector, right? So sometimes 7 hours straight, 9 hours straight, I different nation. Nobody sent me to do it. I needed to know it because that's my sector. So in my 7 hours, if you call me and say, Praise, let us go and I'm not going to follow you because you want to distract me off my business, right? Even if the activity is good, it may not. Every good thing is right for you. Write this down. Not every good thing is right. Many of us are doing good things which are not right. The way my late mentor described it, and that's where I'm going to end today. Dr. Miles Morales said to me, he said, Praise, if I ask you to come to my house and go and sweep my house, and you get to my house and you saw that, wow, my house the walls are not painted, and you decide to paint the walls, you go to the kitchen and you arrange the whole place, and you go to my bedroom and you arrange the whole place, but you did all this things. Then when I come back, what am I supposed to do to you? I said, sir, you should be impressed that I painted your wall. He said, no. He said, Praise, I am going to be very mad at you. And I said, why? He said, because you have done good things which are not right. The only instruction I gave you was to sweep my house. I did not ask you to paint. I did not ask you. So many of you in addendum, and you are forsaking the kingdom. You are forsaking the real reason God sent you here. So you are dancing, you are singing, you are jumping, you are doing other things outside of what you have been sent to do, right? And once your work has not been done, you cannot hear well done. Many of you are trying to bribe God with activities, hoping that He says well done, when you have not even discovered the work, right? So your preoccupation is find your business, mind your business, focus on your business, develop it against all odds, shut yourself against the world. Let me tell you, once you arrive on the other side as number one, the same people who were turning you down will come and look for you, right? Because you are past the kings will begin to send for you, right? Not every good thing is right for you. Stop doing good things which are not right. Focus on what is right. Produce righteousness is a legal word, right? So what is your business? Are you a man? Have you found your business? Are you spending more time on your business, right? It says, seek ye first the kingdom, every other thing shall be added. That kingdom is your life. That kingdom is your assignment. That kingdom is your business. Once you find it, give your all to it, become number one against all odds. Even if you don't become number one, at least become top 10 in your sector. That a decision will never be taken in your sector without consulting you. That's where you want to be. Or else you will become enslaved for the rest of your life, being giving all kinds of confusing statements that will mess you up, that at the age of 60, you are still looking for yourself, and you are still running around to meetings and saying, oh, God, come and use me. Meanwhile, God has been looking for you all these years. Guys, I hope you have learned something today. We will continue this discussion tomorrow. I will stay on this for like 4 days. So tomorrow, how do you find your calling? That's what I'll treat tomorrow. 3 a.m. Make it a date with me. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have learned something today. And please let me announce, this will not always be live. A time is going to come. I'm going to take this information to a closed group because I realize that it's not everyone that needs this information. It's not everyone that can handle this. So that those of us whose mind are open and who want to do something in their life, we can be in a group and be listening to this every day. By the way, 8 p.m. the webinar. If you have not registered, go and register. You don't want to miss that webinar. It's 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Stream on Zoom and YouTube, but you have to be registered for you to have access to the link. Thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate it. If you're on television, look for the channel Savior's Planet with Praise for Where. Savior's Planet with Praise for Where. Ensure you join. That's where people who are up to date with what I'm doing, that's where they are, right? I look forward to welcoming you. Thank you very much. Of you, thanks for always listening to me. Someone is saying, sure, not everyone can handle it. Yes, I know. So this message is very dangerous if we don't control it. I will see you tomorrow, God's willing. Till then, bye-bye.